I think the tempo and really the pressure in terms of vision is going over towards the rest of RixGG.
So just looking at these two compositions, these are both more defensive compositions. These are both kind of teamfight compositions. You have the split pushing threat from Doom that's going to be very scary, but Doom isn't going to be the teamfight carry for this team as it currently stands. So a lot of emphasis needs to go... Ooh, Zig's AD carry. A lot of emphasis needs to go on to what are going to be the teamfight carries, which is this Senna Ezreal dual lane, which is the Diana Orianna dual in mid. That's going to be what decides this game by default, and it is Fiora jungle. So, not so much a split push threat, but certainly a sideline threat in the late game. During the early game, that's going to be hard to make the jungle ganks happen. Every time we see Fiora jungle in SEA, you need kind of engage assist, gank assist. You need someone to find a stun in order to reasonably get anything done on the lane arrival. But it's going to be big damage.
Big damage, to be fair, but it needs to be able to come out. And if you fall behind, that's the problem that then you have. I feel like almost in a way, I'm disappointed in the fact that we literally caster cursed also the emulator coming through here. TJ, you're like, you know, thank goodness for 3 games it hasn't affected us in game, and lo and behold, it comes out now. TJ, we should not have mentioned it. We've gone to a dark place.
Yeah, it's still up, so I'll sort that out for you. It's
indeed. If it's on stream, I can watch in game. That's not the problem. It is, of course, if it goes out for you guys at home, because you are our #1 priority. You matter to us. Sounds like a bank commercial. As I do take a sip of my water here, and as TJ does continue to sort out the emulator issues as we are back live, it is Doom once again taking more jungle away, but his own side.
We're good.
We are.
I don't know what that was. We're struggling
towards an Ocean Drake. It is being fought for in terms of mid-priority, but it's actually the SMB members who get to it first. Super Mega Inferno Bomb will go through, and the Cyclone Flash in will match with the Apprehend onto the Fiora. They combo down the CC dunk the Doom player down, and now they have their attention turned back towards the Drake. SMB forced away.
Drake burned down here by Supermassive. Watch Bambi on this flank. He's going to cut off Rix from getting in, so the steal has to come over the wall.
It is not going to go over, though. It will be the stolen. No, it's not stolen. Secured, should I say, Drake, by the rest of Bambi and this Wukong. So a strong lead coming through, but a goal lead overall does go actually interestingly over to Rix. And I think it's this early pressure that was coming through. The aggression coming through, particularly from Doom, as we say, around this Fiora, has been very, at times, almost over-aggressive, but it has been enabling what has been the initial setup. Shame it didn't work out for the Drake. It's also even activated the solo crew, interestingly. A 1-for-2 trade, as it will, 1-for-1 trade and a 1v2, as now Wukong heads up towards this Rift Tail, but no one was helping Doom, so we'll have to leash away the Shelly, and actually goes back over, I would imagine, here with pressure and River towards the SMB.
So... At current game state, the big focus is going to be actually this Renekton. Absolutely tearing it up in terms of gold. That's a really serious early mid-game teamfight threat. Watch if Rix can engineer any teamfights that revolve around him, that revolve around that front to back. What a Renekton can do is we might get exactly that here around the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they are in the pit. 2 of them stuck. Tries to go in. Tidal Wave forces him back. It's enough. With also the Aqua Prison stops down a Wukong, but the Ezreal steals it. And now they trade one back. They tried their best, but they're only going to lose a double to Ezreal, almost a triple, as it will potentially find it. Fred so low, but they cannot find the execution. Senna flashes in for the execution, and bam, goes like a balloon. Ziggs free for nothing.
This Renekton's big, but he didn't ult. He didn't take the team fight. He just left. So that was not ideal.
Guys, he left him.
Because the Renekton just leaving the team fight meant that there was no team fight, and the rest of the team felt a little bit baited. I'm not sure what to make of that. Just a devastating miscommunication.
That's one of those emotes with, the crocodile Peepo with the shades on. That's how Olive feels right now.
Just thinking that's one of those moments where you lose your mind that mobile League of Legends doesn't have the question mark ping.
Right, indeed.
What? We spent Dominus very late. He had an opportunity to get that solo kill earlier and didn't full invest in it. Kind of questionable.
Maybe slightly tilted.
Yeah.
Slightly tilted.
Looks
it's
a little
the only explanation.
Okay, so this has led to a pretty massive gold swing in favor of Supermassive Blaze.
Albeit, of course, on the bot side, it is going to be the Orianna falling, and we talked about a short gold lead, but it is only going to increase more. I'm really concerned. I mean, Rix, it's the same problem as Team Queso, just the macro. It just feels completely like they're split in terms of how we want to play the game.
Yeah, all of Rix are completely isolated on the map right now because, and this is the same thing like you said that was happening with Team Queso, they don't have a front line. So when you don't have a tanky front line and you're playing from behind, then there's no way to control parts of the map, because if you step on the wrong bush, you just get nuked, you just get blown up. So this Renekton needs to get on the board, needs to start being that front line and offering angles of control for the team. Because the entire time he's pretending to be a jungler, the entire time he's pretending to be like an assassin running through the jungle, the rest of his team is just going to keep getting shoved off of turrets, keep getting pressured off of objectives. This is very much a positioning game now.
Fortunately, though, as the Infernal draws its way down, straws? Drinking? Are we drinking the Infernal trick? Is that how it works in the Wild Rift? Is that the change? Sucking on the need as they seem to, of course, have priority inside that river. And as they touch their toes to the water, and the Infernal breathes life down into the Drake pit itself. Rix are trying to continue to force their way in. The tidal wave comes out very early, but no one's really there to contest that huge cyclone. 4-man into the kill onto the Orianna. They turn it on the Drake, and it's a 2-for-1 trade. Yes, they lose the Ezreal, but they don't even care about the Drake. They take a turret. They're running down the Nami. They're gonna take tier 2. Screw the Drake, TJ. They're on the inhibitor with Shelly.
Oh dear, this could be game. I don't think it is, but with 19 seconds, you could make a swing at it.
Maybe.
Shelly's still up. They'll settle for the inhib. Go back and take the Drake. That is the right call. Whenever you have an opportunity to take an inhibitor during the early mid game, you always prioritize it over an objective, because an inhibitor makes it easy to take every objective from there on. It's going to be very difficult to get out of base from here on. And it comes from another poorly coordinated team fight. You called it out in the moment, as the tidal wave from Clue was absurdly early. Nobody was there to follow up, and the Renekton was there to frontline, but completely separate from the engage. The engage happened onto his backline, and that's where you're looking for that point-and-click stun that Renekton has to deploy defensively. Instead, he's just holding back the front line, letting his team get chewed up.
I think Dara is a little bit over-eager there, though. Does actually now provide awareness through into the topside river. They're going to be able to weave that little bit of a throw into the Sheldon pit, as it will secure the second Rift Held. And on the bottom side, though, however, Baron, should I say, he feels like a Baron, quite frankly, with that mid inhib opened up, but also the pressure on the bottom side, the tier 2. Fredin, that could be a second inhibitor, is now the forced recalls. And Renekton, not really sure if he wants to go backwards and try to defend, because this is the case. This is the problem. They can easily push these turrets, TJ, because they have to constantly answer that mid wave. And even if you try to push to the top, that respawns come through into the Darius, and they're able to now use leveraging that mid control, play and control Rix on the map themselves.
And Olive is making this Renekton so big, and I've just not yet seen it utilized well in a team fight. So I'm not sure how I feel about it, because this is a massive Renekton. He's so scary right now. Let's see. Oh, wrong target. That was the clone. He's dead.
Oh no, he uses everything for it, right? The Cyclone comes out, he's going to be punished for it. Tidal Wave, yes, separates one, but Bambi is huge as well. He's going for a second Cyclone on turret. He has been returned back, though, and it is all who pops a GA, but he has a GA there available to him. He gets back in, flash over the wall, he survives, and he loses nothing for it. And I think, again, now, the more time they're buying, look at mid-wave, it's big mega wave stacked up. The Force is now doomed to answer.
All right, that wasn't exactly what you were hoping for, but nobody dies as a result, which was my worst fear. Rix don't lose their key carry there as they rotate up. And so they still have a shot in this game. It does revolve around the Orianna and Ziggs in the late game, both characters that are difficult to play from behind. But as you can see, with Rabadon's about to complete, there is a power spike on the horizon for them. And if we can get a front-to-back team fight where Olive's Renekton is able to define the entire course of it, then they'll have space to succeed.
Oh dear. Oh dear, it's all gone wrong here for Rix. I think this is one of those games, TJ, that you wipe off, come back 10-minute mark, you lose your inhib, your super giga-fed Renekton does not control the fights, leaves you in the fights and dies to a Darius in a 1v1, and now the Baron, with no Renekton there, no clue there either, is free. This is the biggest free game you could have all competition so far, and it going over to SMB as he might even just find the Fiora Doom chucked down, chopped up, and this is, I think, it. This is all said and done.
Yeah, Olive has respawned, so I don't know if you can end the game right here. But if they can get another inhib, this game's over.
Indeed it
Very
is.
well
you know,
played.
that's why they're going in for it, right? They lock down the Ezreal, potentially going to be two. This Renekton finally showing up. They do grab it, a rune not in time. But Darius on the bottom side, look, they have to go back. They have to answer mid. Wukong on the top side as well. Wukong can 1v1. There's no ulti left for Renekton. They used it in the fight earlier. So this is now when it gets tricky, controlling these lanes, and especially considering Mountain Drake is also coming up.
What a big boy, though. Put that croc back in the New York City sewage system. It's huge. And you can see the impact of it. It's now just a Renekton game, though, because, like I talked about, you're playing these AP scaling characters from behind. Dear Olive, you're on a ward. You're playing these AP scaling characters from behind. It's going to be really difficult for the Ziggs, the Orianna to find damage in these next few team fights. So it is going to entirely revolve around Olive on the Renekton.
Yeah, but the issues in Mega Infinibot, Mountain Drake's back up. That's no ulti to enter into the pit. And I think this is a free Drake, actually, with that given over towards here the rest of SMB. They should be able to claim this objective. Free Drake stacking would be massive for them and stop for some time the burst coming through from this Giga-Fed Renekton. But they're continuing to pressure with the Baron, which now has expired. And I think now, there's a little bit of a world of pain for his Ezreal as here. The Croc does jump over, finds a stun potential, Tidal Wave will double knock up, and the ADC is just dead as Wukong will sacrifice his life for the ADC for a turret, but can they find one back? Yes, they do, and there goes Olive, and I think now, yes, of course, the Rift Herald expiring from the rest of RixGG as well should also be stopped.
Bambi did take the Drake during that time. The Mountain Drake was picked up. Very well played by Supermassive Blaze to manage that aggression. Tulkas, who's played very well across this series, staying alive for a remarkably long time on the top side, and beating in Olive, being able to shut him down on that Renekton. And so, the gold lead holds. Still only one inhibitor broken, that being the mid lane, but there's very, very little map access for Rix. And with a full wave of resets coming up for Supermassive Blaze, they're going to fight for this Baron, and they're going to end the game if they get it.
Look at his Ziggs. He can't walk past his wolves. He just can't enter lane. This is why it's so hard. Because there's no turret there, they have to play so scared, and they're giving full map pressure, TJ, over to the rest of SMB. They can control the tempo off of this mid.
We'll tell you, though, that there are major items coming online. That Void Staff is a big one. So there is damage now on both this Orianna and this Ziggs, and it is possible to win a team fight. The problem is they're playing from behind. They have to play a team fight perfectly. They have to win a team fight. As this Baron comes up, it is going to be a 5v5 to decide the game very functionally.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, Serenated is fed going towards the GA. It has 4 items. But when you look at Darius, right, who's building, or sorry, should I walk to the Wukong, who is building towards his 6th item? He's almost full build. He's chunking them out solo here, TJ, and he's taking down the Ziggs while the bot lane inhibitor falls. The game is being ended, and there's nothing that they can do to stop it as they are in top, running for their lives, and Tolkaz will end them away. From bottom side, they will answer, but from the top, the pressure continues, and as a 2-0 sweep, we will see 2 play-in teams come into the final, and a major difference on who we expected to win this tournament is Rick's fall 2-0. I am gobsmacked, quite frankly, TJ, at how this game has gone, how today has gone as a whole.
Yeah.
First, okay, Therapy Session, big surprise taking down Team Queso. Then Rix, right? The 2nd place team in EU collectively from the Origin series, also taking the 2 fat loss to SMB, who have worked their way up. And I think, frankly, as well, SMB, you look towards it just 2 months ago, were nowhere near one of these top teams of EU.
I think the takeaway from this experience absolutely has to be that EU as a region is getting much stronger. This always happens during off seasons, as people can kind of reset, rebuild their teams, take the learnings from the last season of competitive play forward. And we certainly have seen that in this game, as I think every series so far tonight has been decided by macro play, has been decided by map play. And we've seen teams that were benefiting massively from individual mechanical outplays on the map be slapped down because they don't know how to control the map, how to guarantee they get the opportunities for those outplays.
Right.
I think there's some hard-fought review to be done for both Team Queso and Rix to work out why they kept being forced into disadvantaged fights. It's all very well and good saying, it's all right, we lost that fight, we're at a disadvantage, but at some point you need to have the conversation, why are we always at a disadvantage? And that's what we've seen in the last couple of games, as Supermassive Blaze did an excellent job with these tankier compositions, stuff that is prioritized more in SEA, demonstrating, I think, why those compositions are prioritized more. But also adding some EU flavor. You don't see a lot of Wukong, you don't see a lot of those synced up Diana Wukong team fights that Supermassive pulled out in game number 2 in Southeast Asia. That's definitely something that EU is a lot better at, and we saw that deliver as the mechanical combos showed up and cleaned up those mid-game team fights, kept Rix out of the game, and earned them a ticket to our finals. That's now locked in. Our finals are going to be Therapy Session versus Supermassive Blaze. That'll be tomorrow. 3rd place match will be Team Queso versus Rix. All that again tomorrow, starting at 9 p.m. CEST, right here at twitch.tv/esportstj.
I mean, I think, honestly, very exciting finals tomorrow. Best of 5 as well. Going to be insane to see who takes it, because, of course, it is heavy priority. Joey Skag versus, of course, I think the jungle coming through from the priority into the bot side equally for also Supermassive Blaze, and that bot side going to look very exciting. But also when you look towards those teams who have fell through, right? Team Queso through also RixGG. RixGG, that 2nd game, okay, fair enough. That tidal wave, I think, was the game breaker where you lose your inhib off of that one team fight. But the other games, that 1st game looked fairly even. I agree with you. These teams have to look back in the macro side, particularly Team Queso, of course, because yes, it may only be a scrim for them, as we said. Yes, it may only be potentially a small competition in the lead up to Worlds. It doesn't compare. But equally, if you are getting beat 2-0 by the team like Therapy Session, it's a hard wake-up call that you need to understand, why did this go wrong? What could we have done to do better? Because if you can't figure out these mistakes, they're going to make them again on the international stage, and it's going to be a big wake-up call, as we say, a big punishment coming onto their faces, big slap in the face, quite frankly, from those who are from SEA, from China, from these Asian regions, who are just so good in the way that they look.
Yeah, I'm a giant fan of Team Queso. I've watched those players for a very long time. back when they were playing in Arena Valor in the Valor series. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in international play, and I'm sure that they can tighten things up before then. But our finals tomorrow will not be a Team Queso story. It'll be the two teams that looked kind of like a promising future for the Origin series, like a promising future for Europe, as we saw Therapy Session deploy some really good macro play and take Team Queso apart in some very aggressive games. Supermassive Blaze, opposite side of the coin, play defense, wait 17 minutes, win the game. Very slow and controlled gameplay. And that's going to go head-to-head tomorrow. It should be fireworks. You won't want to miss it. Again, right here, 8 p.m. CEST. That's 10 a.m. PST, if you happen to be here in the Americas with me. My name has been TJ. That right there is Highland Wolf. Where can people find you?
Oh, they can find me on, of course, Twitter, HighlandWolf_, or, of course, on Instagram, The Highland Wolf. Either way works best.
I don't have an Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at esportstj or right here on Twitch. Again, at esportstj. This tournament was put on by the Purge Tournament. You can find them on Twitter at Purge Tournament, and I suggest you do. You can also type !Purge in the chat in order to pull up their Discord server, where you can find more information about this tournament and many more upcoming tournaments. Thank you so much for watching today. We will see you tomorrow when it comes time to crown a winner of the EU series. You won't want to miss it. That's again tomorrow morning if you're here in America, 8 p.m. CEST if you're over in Europe. Till then, see ya.